I'm Trevor Turner. Once lost, now living on purpose. I know what it's like to feel locked out of your own potential. This show is for the ones who are ready to take their power back and write a new story, 1 hour at a time. You can do it. You can do anything, and you don't need permission. That's why I started the free hour, to give people the space to change their story, to remind them you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are not done, you are powerful. You can find freedom, you can find yourself, and you decide what happens next. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the free hour. It's your boy Trevor Turner, and we are back with another video. We are back with another episode in our free hour ABCs, the ABCs of Tree, and this is our emotional intelligence series, where we learn to connect with ourselves and others on a deeper level. Because emotional intelligence isn't just about feelings. It's the foundation of real success and real connection. And now we're on the letter J. So what if joy wasn't something you just stumbled into, but something you could build? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. That is what the letter J is for in the context of emotional intelligence. It is joy. We're going to be talking about defining joy beyond happiness, the science of joy and emotional intelligence, practices to cultivate joy, and joy as a driver of growth. We're going to be talking about what it is, how to get to it, why it's important, and why you need it in your life. So what role does joy play in emotional intelligence, and how do we create it intentionally? And this comes directly from our last video, which was inner peace in the emotional intelligence series. And now we're moving from stability to fulfillment. That is how we build on it. If the inner peace is the stability, no matter what is going on, joy is where we start to find fulfillment. Joy is where we start to find fulfillment in our purpose, fulfillment in what we're going after. This is something I tell my guys in my groups all the time, is that this is where we switch over to what it is that defines for us success, happiness, growth. And we can define joy as a strong emotion of intense and lasting happiness and contentment, or the state of experiencing lasting happiness and contentment. It can also refer to a source or a cause of delight. Now, when we're talking about joy here, we're not talking about external joys. We're not talking about things that bring us those fulfillment externally. We're not talking about things that bring us happiness externally. We are talking about intrinsic motivation. We're talking about the things that bring us to that level from within here. And joy isn't just happiness. Happiness comes and goes. Joy is cultivated. Now, Dr. Barbara Friedrichsen, PhD, UNC psychologist, leading researcher on positive emotions, broaden and build theory, found that joy broadens awareness and builds resilience. One of the things that I had to find within myself, and I found it in some of the hardest to find joy environments. I found it obviously in prison. I found joy that came from within. I found a joy that came from my purpose. And this goes back to what I tell the guys in my groups, is that our purpose is what should bring us the joy, not the things that the other people tell us about ourselves, not the things that the other people give us credit for, not our accomplishments, but joy should come from the fact that we pursued, we went after, and we tried our best and left nothing on the table when it came to going after our purpose every single day. And I found that even in the worst possible environments. I found that in a 6x9 cell where I really couldn't do much. I wanted to start doing these things. I wanted to start trying to help people, trying to help them find what it is that I found, trying to help them cultivate what it is that I cultivated, that freedom that I had found even locked in the box, that joy that I had found even though I couldn't actually fulfill my purpose, but I could take actions to do it. There was something that I found, comfortability, being with myself when I had never felt comfortable in my own skin. Joy that I found in the smallest routines were not just circumstances. Joy isn't found, it's formed. What simple thing brought you joy today? What simple thing could you do to help you get after your purpose to bring you joy today? Like we said, it's not about just peace, it's about fulfillment. It's not about just feeling okay and contentment. It's about that lasting feeling of happiness and contentment. It comes from fulfillment. So why does joy matter so much for how we think, connect, and grow? Friedrichson's 2008 research, Journal of Positive Psychology, showed repeated positive emotions, joy, gratitude, love, predict long-term well-being and resilience. And then Richard Davidson, PhD, neuroscientist, University of Wisconsin, found that joy and compassion activate the prefrontal cortex, linked to resilience and empathy. Joy wires your brain for connection and creativity. It's the same thing that I found with my gratitude practice. When I found myself in a mindset of abundance, a mindset of scarcity, a mindset of victim mindset, and I started to cultivate gratitude into my life, when I felt like I had nothing, I immediately felt like I had everything. I immediately knew that the only place that I could go was up, and I immediately felt myself on that upward trajectory. It gave me hope. Cultivating gratitude gave me hope. Cultivating joy, that strong, lasting feeling of contentment, will put you in a mindset where you feel blessed, no matter what's going on. It will put you in a mindset where you feel motivated, no matter what's going on. It will put you in a mindset where you can turn inward to escape what's going on outwardly, instead of turning outward to escape what's going on inward. Because a lot of us, we have those issues that are going on, whether it be from trauma, whether it be from breakups, whether it be from not having positive connections, whether it be from loneliness, whether it be from social media. Whatever the case is, we have anxieties, depressions, we have things that we're battling in here. And we turn to everything on the outside to get there. If we cultivate joy, that's how we escape from those things. That's how we destroy those things. That's how we get to being able to accept the now, being able to just be present and being filled with a positive feeling about yourself. Getting that intrinsic motivation, knowing where it is that you're going, knowing that you can get there. It's cultivated by joy. Don't wait for joy. Train your brain to practice it. So how do we move from knowing about joy to actually creating it? Because now I hope that I've told you enough to make you feel like joy is something that you would definitely want into your life. And I know a lot of people, we just want to feel happier. We want to feel better about our lives. But the thing is about it is that we've been waiting on circumstances. We've been waiting on the right person to come. We've been waiting on, for me, I know it was a lot of people I was talking to, man, when I get out of here, or when I get off parole, or when I get away from these people, or I get out of this environment, I'll just feel better. I'll just be better. I'll just do better. But the thing is that those circumstances, those perfect right time is never going to come until you become the perfect right person. God will never give you what you're not ready to receive. So you're waiting for joy. You're waiting for contentment. You're waiting for all these things to come in and kind of sweep you off of your feet and kind of rescue you from this chaos that you have going on, when inside you are filled with chaos. When your thoughts are filled with chaos, when you can't step back and be the observer of your thoughts and get away from all of those swirling emotions, that maelstrom of stuff that's going on in your mind, when you need to chase everything because you can't feel comfortable in here, yet you expect life to hand you something that's going to make you feel joyful all of a sudden. It doesn't work like that. You need to get yourself ready to go through the doors when they open up. So let's talk about a couple practices to get there. These are practices that I've been talking about. They're practices that I've been talking to you guys about through all of these episodes. They are really, really simple, but they build off of each other. We've cultivated the right type of mindset through the different episodes. You need the mindfulness. You need to be productive to get to the point of being able to cultivate joy within yourself that comes from chasing your purpose, and that comes from being present and having that inner peace. So let's talk about some of the practices. Daily gratitude reflection. Daily gratitude reflection is the beginning of cultivating a new outlook. It is the beginning of cultivating a new mindset. Look, when I was in prison, and I say this all the time, and I know it sounds like a broken record, I was in prison. And at the time, I had felt like an innocent bystander in my own life. I only felt like I was there because somebody told on me. I only felt like I was there because people couldn't mind their business. I only felt like I was there because that dude didn't get the memo that if you're in this lifestyle, you can't call the police or whatever the case. I only felt like I was in there because of what other people had done to me. I only felt like I was there and I was, in my addiction and all this stuff because of everything that had happened to me as a kid, as an adult, all the way up to it. The thing about it is that when I took the power back in my life and I kind of looked around, I realized I was in a pretty shitty situation. A shitty situation that I had gotten myself into. Gratitude was hard. Gratitude was hard as fuck. Especially gratitude for myself. And then I had to have gratitude for the situation. Gratitude for the itchy, tiny blanket that didn't keep you warm, but got your allergies going like a motherfucker. Gratitude for being in a place that they wouldn't turn on the heater until after it stopped snowing in the winter, till it was almost a spring. Gratitude for being in a place where my cellie was talking to himself all day, all night, screaming at himself. Finding gratitude when I'm watching people fighting up and down the halls. Gratitude when the yard is going down every single day that alarm is going off and I'm having to move from place to place to place because they keep closing these places. I'm not able to get settled in. I'm not really able to get a routine. I'm not really able to get this going. I'm around people I don't like. I don't get along with. And those are the things that were at the forefront of my mind every single day. But you know what? I was able to break through it by just saying thank you every single day. And I read this book called The Secret, or not The Secret, called The Magic. It's by the same person who wrote The Secret. You know, that one where whatever you're thinking about is what comes to you. It's the law of attraction. Whatever you're focused on is what comes to you. And one of the magic of having whatever you're focused on coming to you is whoever has, more will be given to them, right? So if you think you don't got nothing, how are you going to ever get anything? So you need to cultivate that mindset of I have. And to start doing that is a gratitude practice every single day. You can start this in the morning. You can start this as a part of your free hour practice. You can do this right before you go to bed. Just say thank you. Say thank you for 5 things. If you can't think of 5, do 3. If you can't think of 3, do 1. And before you know it, you'll be having to pick and choose like, okay, well, which things am I going to say thank you for today? Because there's just so much. Yeah, they may be little. Yeah, they may seem inconsequential. They may be things that you have taken for granted for the longest time. But when you put things into perspective, there are things that a lot of people in this world do not have. And I know we don't compare to other people and try to say that we got more than what they got. But the thing about it is this, is that we are doing better than we think we're doing. And that's the first step to get to joy, by realizing that and recognizing that, by saying thank you for the clothes that we got on our back, by saying thank you for the phone that I got to watch this video, by saying thank you for the food that I got to eat. Thank you for the air in my lungs. Thank you that my body works, because some people don't got that. And then next, savoring. We talked about this with our immersion video. We talk about this with our mindfulness videos. Slow down and experience moments. Slow down and take in all of the experience of everything that it is that you're doing. Every time that you're eating, watch how your relationship with eating changes if you slow down and you savor every bite of that. Listen, if you live in the United States, I know a lot of this food is unhealthy, but this food is so packed with flavor that if you slow down and realize what's going on with every single one of those bites, it might not only help you to eat less, but it'll realize like, damn, okay, like there's a lot good going on here. Every sip of water that you take when you're thirsty, like slow down, savor it. The way it feels when it's going through your body, the way it feels when it hits your throat, pause, the way it feels when all of these things are going on. Slow down and savor them. Every conversation you have with one of your friends. Take a step back and really think like, man, this is amazing. Even if those conversations are so few and far in between, even if you never get to meet this person in real life because you only get them online or on Discord or on the game that you like to play sometimes, or even if you don't have that many close friends, if you got one person that you talk to, maybe it's somebody on social media you've never met. Slow down and savor that instead of thinking about where you lack on the other end of it. Slow down and savor the things that come to you. Instead of focusing on what you don't got, focus on what you do. Slow down. And then, of course, acts of kindness. Studies show helpers' joy outlasts the recipients. One of the things that I've been trying to talk to people about and tell people about, and it's really hard to put into words without seeming like one of these, like, super mysticism type dudes or new wave energy type motherfuckers or vibrational type motherfuckers. It's just the fact that we live in a reflective universe. What you put out there, it comes back to you. If you put out good, good comes back to you. If you put out good feelings come back to you. And I know it doesn't happen all the time. I know it doesn't feel like it happens all the time. But if you set yourself up to consistently bless people, you will feel blessed. If you set yourself up to consistently be kind to people, you will feel the kindness coming back from people. You will start to recognize the kindness that comes from people instead of only recognizing that one jackass that you met throughout the day, or those two jackasses, or those people that you see scrolling on social media. You will start to recognize the people in your daily life or the strangers that you come across randomly and never see again. You will start to recognize the kindness that they do, the smiles they give you, if they hold the door for you, if they wave at you, if they let you get in front in traffic. You will start to see that instead of just the one dude that flipped you off, or the one dude who was acting racist, or the one dude who was making fun of you, or the one dude who gave you left you nasty comments. You will start to notice all of the other people that don't. Because this universe that we live in is reflective. What you put out is what you get back. Just like what you focus on is what you attract. Being proactive. If you take a second and pause and just be proactive in the way that you approach life, in the way that you approach situations, in the way that you approach people and deal with people. Look, there's such a huge difference between when I was mindlessly reacting in my old life versus how I'm intentional now. When I would mindlessly react to issues in my relationships, I would feel no joy in any of my relationships. When I would mindlessly react to the negative things that would pop up in my friendships, I would feel no joy in those friendships. With my connections with my family, with my jobs, anything that was going on. But now that I'm proactive, now that I'm intentional, and this is one of the things we talked about last time, there is a joy in setting myself up to follow intentionally what it is that I want to do, how it is that I want to show up in the world, how it is that I want to show up for people. I was never the type of person that if somebody told me that they had an issue with the way that I treated them in a relationship, I was never the type of person to say, okay, I'm going to change. Or okay, I'm going to do something differently. Or okay, you want me to do more of this? I'm going to do more of that. I would say, you know what you signed up for. I would mindlessly lash out and say, oh, I'm not good enough. What I do isn't good enough for you. You're ungrateful. You're this, you're that. And when I would do that, I would feel such a lack of fulfillment. I would feel such a lack of joy in all of these situations, and all of that stuff would come crushing down on me. But now that I'm intentional and people tell me like, hey man, I really feel like you should do more of this. Or hey babe, I really feel like you should do more of this. Or if you did more of this, I would feel more of this. I'll feel more fulfilled. And I'd be intentional about it, and I realize that those people, there's a reason they're asking me for those things. It's because they want it from me. They don't want it from other people. They don't want it from other sources. They want that from the source they want it from. And that gives me such a feeling of like contentment and happiness, knowing that these people are reaching out to me for the things that they feel like they lack in the situations, instead of trying to find it from other people. It lets me know that they feel like I'm capable of providing those things. And as men, Shit, as men and women, everybody in the society, knowing that can really help you. Knowing that people believe you can step your game up will not only help you and make you step your game up, but it will make you feel joy in the process of doing it. The fact that someone can look at you and say, I know you can do better. If we are not cultivating joy in our lives, we can look at that as an attack. We can look at that as somebody talking down on what we're doing. But if you have that joy, if you have started to cultivate joy, if you have started to savor things, done acts of kindness, started your daily gratitude reflections, started your intentionality, started thinking about your purpose, started thinking about where you want to go, when people tell you can step up your game, you will start to see it as like, okay, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for telling me that you know that I'm so much better than even I think I am. The next step, finding purpose. Finding something that you can do that brings you a sense of fulfillment. And I know pride is such a bad word or whatever, but a sense of pride. What is it that you do? What is it that you enjoy doing? What is it that you get lost in doing? What is it that you can bring to people that other people can't really bring to people in that way? If you find that, and you go after that to the best of your abilities, regardless of the results, because we have been so trained to be results based when it comes to our self-esteem. We have been so trained to, if we don't get the results from the action, that means that action meant nothing. And since that action meant nothing, that means that I mean nothing. Instead of going by the fact that this is what I do, and I didn't leave anything on the table. I put all of my effort into it. I didn't half-ass nothing about this. Regardless of whether anybody else fucks with it, I did all that I could do because the only person I can change is myself. I did everything I could do, and I went after it to the best of my abilities. Having that mindset, going after what it is that you can do, what it is that you're good at, what it is that you feel fulfilled doing, your purpose, will help you to cultivate joy. Joy doesn't ask for perfect circumstances, it just asks for your presence. Because those perfect circumstances are never going to come. They're never going to come. So this week, choose one small joy practice and stick with it. Choose one of these practices, whether it's daily gratitude reflection, savoring the things that come your way, acts of kindness for other people, finding your purpose. Choose one. Joy isn't the cherry on top, it's fuel for the climb. Joy builds resilience, it builds creativity and motivation. It's the broaden and build. Cultivating through those practices will help you to build resilience, it will help you to build, it builds off of that inner peace that we have been cultivating, and it gives you the intrinsic motivation. And it links back to our productivity series, our intentionality. Joy gives energy to sustain habits. It's not about motivation. It's not about finding those other things that make us feel fired up. It's about that fire that we got constantly burning in us, that constant and lasting state of contentment and happiness. And it comes from knowing that you have gratitude. It comes from knowing that you can do purpose. It comes from knowing that you enjoy savoring. It comes from all of those pieces. One of the things for me, and I first found it, I tell y'all this all the time, I first found it in that cell, 23 hours a day. I first found it in there. I found a freedom that I had never felt before because I found something that I was good at. I found something that I was good at talking to other people about. I found something that other people, when I could reach them and I could communicate with them, I saw that light in their eyes and I saw it and it gave me that joy and it helped me to continually go after it when things don't look like they're going to be the best, when the results don't look like they're going to be the best. It turned my hour into possibility. It turned all 23 hours of my day into possibility. And it turned that hour out into the whole reason that I'm doing this here. Because that hour out of what I was locked in is the same thing that everybody has of what they're locked into, of those joyless relationships, of those unfulfilling connections, of that job that you fucking hate because you don't have education or you don't have the time to do anything else, or hating yourself. You have an hour a day. Everybody got an hour a day to cultivate the joy, to cultivate the peace, to cultivate the intention, to cultivate the purpose. Joy is resilience. Joy is resilience disguised as a smile. Don't just chase joy, build it into your practice. Inner peace keeps you grounded. Joy lifts you higher. Drop one way you'll choose joy this week. Your example could inspire anybody else. And watch how you live your life, because it could be the only Bible that somebody else ever reads. All right? It's been your boy Trevor Turner. Thank you once again for watching our Emotional Intelligence series. See y'all next week. Deuces.